Hello students. Um, in the previous lecture we were discussing about the liquid dosage form. So in the last lecture we have discussed till the monophasic liquid dosage forms. Also only definition of monophasic liquid dosage form. So in today's lecture we will discuss about its definition and brief count. So first definition is in your book, page number is 143. So first definition is mixtures and concentrates. So what are the mixtures and concentrates? So they are the dilute or concentrated monophasic preparations which are intended for oral administered, in which drug is dissolved in a suitable vehicle. So the most suitable vehicle for this form of dosage is water, because the reason behind the selection of water is lack of toxicity in water, physiological compatibility, and its ability to dissolve a wide range of materials. So purified water, as per the Indian Pharmacopoeia, which should be freshly boiled and cooled, is widely used instead of potable water to avoid any undesirable effects of ions often present in potable water. So generally they are supplied in a multi-dose airtight and light resistant containers, which bears the proper labels. So the labels must contain informations like drug content, alcohol content. Alcohol content should be written if it is present, and these things should be written in each 5 ml of dose. Storage condition should be there: batch number, manufacturing license number, manufacturing date, expiry date, and name f name and address of the manufacturers shall be written on the label. So the concentrates are required to be diluted before use, uh, which include concentrated aromatic waters, which are diluted to produce aromatic water to be used as vehicle in liquid preparations. So next we have is syrups. So all of you have heard about the syrups. So they are basically a sweetened, viscous, concentrated solution of sucrose. Other sugars can also be there instead of sucrose, and these sugars are present in case of syrup. They are present in water and any other aqueous, suitable aqueous vehicle. So if we see or if we look at the classification of syrups, they are classified into two classes. First one is simple flavored syrups and second one is medicated syrups. So the when syrups do not contain any medicament but contain some aromatic or pleasantly flavored substances, these syrups are used as a vehicle for other liquid preparations to mask the disagreeable taste of medicament. So next we have is medicated syrups. So when syrups contain medicinal substance along with the other additives, so simple flavored syrups they are supplied in bulk volumes, while medicated syrups are supplied in small volumes and in airtight and light resistant bottles or other container being proper labels. So label must contain all necessary information as discussed in mixtures. Next we have is elixirs. So they are cleared, flavored, sweetened, hydroalcoholic liquid preparations for oral administration, and the percentage of alcohol varies from 4 to 40%. So they are classified into two classes. First one is non-medicated elixirs, and when elixirs do not contain any medicament but contain some aromatic or pleasantly flavored substances, so these elixirs are used as vehicle for other liquid preparations. So next is medicated elixirs. So when elixirs contain some medicinal substance along with other additives, so they are called medicated elixirs. So medicated elixirs usually contain potent and nauseous drugs like antibiotics, antihistaminics, antitussives and sedative. So the bitter and nausea taste of these drugs is masked up to a certain limit due to presence of flavoring and sweetening agents in hydroalcoholic medium, so that it can easily be taken by the patient of children group. So due to the presence of alcohol, few advantages are provided to the preparation, like solubility of drug is enhanced, no chance of microbial growth, and no need of adding preservatives if alcohol quantity is more than 20%. So if pharmacists think that a particular dose cannot be provided to the patient due to lack of drug solubility in syrups, so he can go forward for the formulation of elixirs for the same drugs. So no medicated elixirs are supplied in bulk volumes, while medicated elixirs are supplied in small volumes and in airtight and light resistant bottles and other containers bearing proper labels. So as such, labels of elixir should contain all requirements as discussed in syrups. But one most important point here is the amount of alcohol content which should be mentioned on the label. So next we have is draught. So they are liquid oral preparations of which only one or two large doses, usually 50 ml, they are prescribed. So each dose is supplied in a separate bottle. So the medicaments are given in the form of draughts because they deteriorate rapidly and cannot be kept for a long time. So the patients are advised to discard if it is not consumed within a required period. So usual expiry period of draught is 1 or 2 days. So next we have is drops. So the drops are the liquid preparations which are meant for the pediatric administration. So generally vitamins and antibiotics, uh, these are given in the form of drops. So they are supplied in a bottle with calibrated dropper. So drops contain potent drugs, hence measuring of doses should be done carefully. So drops are supplied in small volume containers, uh, such as 5 ml or 10 ml. So the label on the drops container must meet all necessary requirements for liquid preparation. So the dose must be mentioned in drops, or if at all any dilution is necessary, then dilution ratio must be written on the label. So next we have is link touches. So they are viscous oral liquid preparations for relief of cough. So they contain high proportion of syrup. Very often glycerin is added to the formulation, which provides sweet taste as well as demulcent effect on mucous membranes of the throat. So lactases should be taken as such without dilution, and also they must be sipped slowly. This is done because to enhance the or prolong the action of the drug. So the usual dose of lactase is 5 ml, and it should be supplied in a multi-dose container so as to provide 15 to 20 doses together. So the label must contain all necessary requirements of liquid preparations. So next we have is lotions. So they are the aqueous, oily or alcoholic liquid preparations which are monophasic or suspension or emulsion biphasic, which are intended for external application without friction. So in this section, we are considering only monophasic lotions. So they are usually applied on the affected part with the help of some absorbent material such as cotton wool or gauze, which are soaked in the lotion. So the purpose of lotion is to provide cooling, soothing and protective action. So usually lotions contain local anesthetics or antiseptics. So they are supplied in colored fluted bottles in order to distinguish them from preparation which is meant for internal use. So the label must contain all necessary requirements of liquid dosage forms. So in addition to those, it must be directions like for external use only, keep out of reach of the children and apply without rubbing. So since they are preparations for external use, they do not have any dose column in their labels. So next up we have is liniments. So they are usually alcoholic or oily liquid preparations which are monophasic or biphasic, and they are intended for an external use with friction. So hence we consider only monophasic liniments. Also, they are designed for the purpose of analgesic, lubrication, and stimulating activity of the drugs on the external parts of the body. So they are applied on the skin with rubbing and should never be applied on the broken part of the skin. Also, they are supplied in color-coded bottles in order to distinguish them from preparation which are made for internal use. So the labels must contain all necessary requirements of liquid dosage forms. So in addition to these, it must be directions like for external use only, keep out of the reach of the children, apply with gentle rubbing, not to be applied on wounds or broken skin, and similar to the lotions, and they don't have any column of dose in their label. So next we have is collodions. So they are the fluid preparations for external use, and the peculiarity of this external preparation is that they contain a volatile vehicle which evaporates on application to the skin and leaving a flexible protective film covering the affected site. So the preparation is applied with either brush or roll. Also, they are available in two classes. First one is the non-medicated collodions, and the next is medicated collodions. So when preparation do not contain any medicament, they are simply used for protecting small cuts and abrasions. Next we have is medicated collodions when preparations contain medicaments along with other additives. So the collodions are usually employed to provide a sustained source of keratolytic agent. First one is salicylic acid in the treatment of corns and warts, and they are supplied in small volume airtight light resistant bottles. So the label must be all necessary requirements of liquid dosage forms. So in addition, it must contain few more directions like for external use only, store in a cool place, keep away from the flame, highly inflammable, keep out of the reach of the children, and dose column must be avoided since it is a preparation for external use. Next we have is gorgles. They are the aqueous solutions used in the treatment of throat infections, infections of the pharynx and nasopharynx, etc. Also, they are supplied in concentrated forms with directions of dilutions with warm water before use. So the gargles are used in the posterior region of the mouth cavity by agitating the solution with expired air. So they are remained there for few moments, after which they are thrown out of the mouth. So the gargles, they are supplied in clear fluted glass bottles to distinguish them with the preparations made for internal administration. So the container must be airtight and light resistant, and labels on the bottle must be directions like for external use only, and dilution ratio with warm water, and all requirement of liquid dosage form except the dose column. So next we have is mouthwashes. So the mouthwashes are the aqueous liquid preparations used for rinsing, deodorant, refreshing, or antiseptic action on the front portion of the mouth cavity, and it should be pleasant in taste and odor. So usually they are supplied in concentrated form in a clear fluted container, and labels should be directions like dilution ratio with warm water for external use only, and all other necessary requirements of liquid dosage form except the dose column. So next we have is throat paints. So the throat paints are viscous liquid preparations which are used for the mouth and throat infections. So glycerin is the most commonly employed vehicle because of its viscous nature and sweet agreeable taste. So they are made viscous so that the drug should remain in contact with the mucous membrane for a long time, and they are supplied in airtight color fluted bottles in order to distinguish them from preparations made for internal use. So the application of the paint on the affected part is made with the help of camel brush or by cotton plug twisted at the tip of the wooden slim stick. So they are applied as such without dilution, and labels on the bottle must be directions like for external use only, Apply with camel brush and all other necessary requirements of liquid dosage form except the dose column. So next we have is nasal drops and sprays. So nasal drops are aqueous preparation of drugs that are instilled into the nostrils. So the oils are not preferred as a vehicle in nasal preparations, and because oily drops inhibit movement of cilia in the nasal mucosa, and it may cause lipidal pneumonia. So instillation of nasal drops is achieved by using a dropper. So the convenient amber colored glass bottle with a medicine dropper top should be used for drop medication. And also the nasal sprays, they are the preparations as nasal drops but instilled in the nostrils in the form of fine mist with the help of atomizer or a spray package like nebulizer, which produce a very fine mist of drug solution so as to reach into the respiratory tract. So labels on the container must be directions like for external use only, for the use only in the nose, and number of drops to be instilled at a time. So it should also contain all other necessary requirements of liquid dosage forms. Next we have is Dutches. So they are the aqua solutions which are used to cleanse, deodorize, soothe or medicate wounds, body orifices or cavities after applying them with low pressure. So the word Dutch is most commonly used for vaginal solutions. And Dutches are also supplied in the form of powders or tablets with the directions for dissolving them in a specified quantity of warm water. Usually concentrated solutions are supplied and patients are required to dilute it accordingly before use. Also, vaginal Dutches must be sterile if used after childbirth of any surgery of vaginal region. So they are introduced by means of suitable rubber syringe with a specialized designed nozzle. Also, they are supplied in a narrow mouthed glass fluted bottles to distinguish them with preparations meant for internal use. So the powders or tables might be supplied in suitable boxes of plastic or in the form of strips of aluminium foil. So labels on the container must be directions like for external use only, dilution ratio with warm water, quantity of powder or number of tablets to be dissolved in a specified quantity of water, along with other necessary requirements of liquids and solid dosage forms. So student, that is all for the day. In the next lecture we will discuss about and we will start from the enemas. So thank you for the day.